Okay, we're slowly working our way through our camera battery settings, but if I'm looking green/yellow, I apologize. I'm probably more frustrated than you are. I literally cannot figure out my camera settings. Anyway, today's video I'm really excited to do. We're gonna be doing my makeup rehab recap for the month of March. So everything that came into my makeup collection as well as everything that exited. This is a beauty budget style, kind of like monthly makeup haul. In years past, I have done a more strict beauty budget, but this year I'm strictly just tracking makeup in versus makeup out, but I'm not counting eyeshadow palettes because eyeshadow palettes are just something that I like to keep a main focus on my channel. So I don't really want to, I don't want to say have this limit of the amount of palettes that I keep in, but I feel like if I tracked it, it would make eyeshadow palettes less fun for me. So I haven't been doing that. At the beginning of this year, I just started my beauty bank at 0 credits, and to earn beauty bank credits, I have to empty out a makeup product that is +1 makeup credits to my beauty bank. And then for every makeup product that I bring into my collection, whether it be a purchase or PR or free gift with purchase, whatever it might be, that counts as -1 credits towards my beauty bank. So we left off in February with 8 credits in my beauty bank. I had a really good month of February. I didn't purchase any makeup and then I used up a bunch of makeup. I'll leave my makeup rehab series linked down below in case you're interested in checking previous updates you may have missed. But we had a beauty credit or a beauty bank of 8 products, and I do have some makeup products that I brought in this month, but I will say historically I don't buy that much makeup in March because I'm usually waiting for the Sephora VIB sale, which is in April. I'll also leave my Sephora playlist linked down below in case you're interested in checking out any Sephora related content while the sale is going on. But I did purchase a couple of items during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, so I do have some makeup that I brought in. I have some PR that I brought in. I have some other beauty that I'll share, and then I do have 7 empties to share with you at the end of the video. I'll leave timestamps in case there's any portion of this video you aren't interested in watching. But if you're interested in my March update, stay tuned. For if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project planning content, palette themed content, or just chit chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. All right, I always like to start with PR, and I have 3 PR products that have come into my collection this month. One of them is a fragrance, and I was so excited about this. So Clean Reserve sent over from their H2 EAU collection their Waterfall scent, and this is a rollerball, which rollerball application is not always my favorite, but I'm not gonna complain. I'm gonna put a little bit on because I haven't put on any fragrance yet today. This really smells very clean, almost teetering on like laundry detergent scent clean. Like I could see there potentially being like a laundry detergent scent in this scent. If I didn't say, this is in the scent Waterfall, and I don't have the notes pulled up. Oh, does it say? Family type is fruity aquatic, which I would 100% agree with. This kind of smells like almost like a cucumber watermelon mocktail, like not alcoholic beverage, but like a mocktail where it's just like very fresh and aquatic. I do get that aquatic feeling to it too. I like this. I don't necessarily know that I would purchase this in a full size, but to have as a cute little rollerball to just kind of add to other fragrances or to just take with me on the go, I really like it. I wore this to bed a couple of nights too. I will say maybe it's not like my fall asleep fragrance, but it is really nice. I like it, and I do feel like the rollerball scent, it lasts on my wrists for maybe like 6-ish hours, like a good 6 hours before I can't smell it anymore, which I personally think is pretty good for a rollerball. So they sent this over, and I am so grateful because I have been loving testing and trying new fragrances. So I was really excited about that. And then Alter Ego has 2 new palette releases. One of them I'm hoping is announced. I'm not sure, but if not, I'll just cut that part out of this video. But they did send over their Dreamgaze eyeshadow palette, which is the dupe to the Natasha Denona pastel palette. This is what this looks like. I really appreciate Alter Ego that they are definitely more affordable. I believe this palette retails for $20. Their packaging is actually pretty sturdy, especially considering their price point. And they do have really good quality shadows. So if you had your eye on this but didn't, so if you had your eye on the Natasha Denona Pastel but didn't want to pay full price or didn't want to pay like $65, $67, I do highly recommend Alter Ego. I do have a code with them if you're interested in saving. I believe it's 10%. I'll pop my code on the screen, as well as it's always in my description box down below. That is an affiliate link. So if that's something that bothers you, just don't use my code. And then they also, this just came in the mail like 2 days ago. This is the Wildwood eyeshadow palette, another dupe for a Natasha palette. I haven't even taken this out of the box yet, but I believe this is a dupe to the Yucca palette, which I freaking love. So this is what this looks like. So beautiful. I obviously haven't tested this one out yet to say for certain, but even just looking at this looks pretty spot on for what the Yucca palette looks like. So if again, if you had your eye on the Yucca but didn't want to spend Natasha Denona prices on it, there is now the Wildwood palette through Alter Ego. So those were the PR products that came into my life this month. Now I just like to take a moment to share like other beauty products, just as a way to kind of do a cumulative haul every single month. So I have a couple of hair care products and then also a few more fragrances. So 2 fragrances that came into my collection this month. Finery released a new, like an expansion of their line. Finery is available at Target, and I picked up the scent Mystic Figures, which is kind of also an aquatic scent. Maybe this will be my scent for the day. This does have almost like a spicy sort of peppery note to it as well. I do really like this. I don't think it's going to be my absolute favorite, but I do like the aquatic mixed with like the spicy muskiness. That is like a scent that I really enjoy. I definitely like something a little bit different, a little bit musky. So I personally have really been enjoying this, and I believe this retails for like $27.99, so definitely more on the affordable side for scents. And I do feel like I get like a solid 6 hours of wear out of this. I know that's not the most long lasting, but especially considering the price point, I feel like that's pretty decent. And then during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, I picked up Sweet Ash from Sniff, and I will say this kind of is giving me like Ariana Grande Cloud mixed with like an ashiness. Like right off of like the first, like the opening, I get kind of that Ariana Cloud sort of scent profile or DNA, but then right after that I get this like smokiness, which I really like. I'm not a huge fan of the Ariana Cloud scent, but I love like a smoky, earthy, woody muskiness. So I've really been enjoying this. I've only worn this like 3 times so far, so I'm definitely still testing it out, but I was really excited to see this half off during the 21 Days of Beauty, which I know is not 21 Days of Beauty anymore. They're semi-annual, whatever, because I haven't tried any scents from Sniff yet, so I was able to try one at a pretty affordable cost. I definitely think this is going to be more of a fall fragrance for me, but still, nevertheless, I'm very excited to have gotten my hands on that. And then the other beauty product I wanted to share is I picked this up from Ulta. I had my eye on this and I was like, no girl, no, but then they had something, maybe it was like 5 times points, and I was really close to being at the threshold for the $125 off, and I only needed to spend maybe like 50 bucks, maybe 60. So I ended up deciding to pick this up. It's a Verb hair care set. Can we just take a moment to like really appreciate the makeup bag, because that was the most important part to me. I love a makeup bag. So this retailed for $50. I absolutely love Verb hair care products. Their shampoo and conditioner I think is my current favorite, and that is why this initially caught my attention, because I was needing to re-up on my Verb shampoo and conditioner, and then it was like the makeup bag and I was like, oh my gosh, I need this. But you get the 12-ounce bottles of the shampoo and conditioner, as well as they have the volume dry texture spray, which I also own, and I also really love this texture spray, especially as we enter spring summer, when I frequently do like my French braids and then I take my French braids out and do like the curls or the waves. I feel like this adds just some volume and texture to those curls that I really like. So every little piece in this set to me was something that I would get use out of, and then I was just so happy to get this absolutely adorable makeup bag, which is actually a really good size as well. So I also picked this up this month. Moving on to the palette portion of today's video, I do have 7 eyeshadow palettes that came into my life in March, which I am feeling like a little bit overwhelmed. And I will say, I feel like maybe I'm starting, I don't want to say I'm getting palette fatigue, but like as I'm like looking even at new releases that I've seen like launched on, or like seen teased on like Trend, Mood, and Makeup on Your Radar, I haven't been like as, ooh, I need to like set an alarm for that and pick it up. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I did still bring 7 eyeshadow palettes in my collection in March, which is kind of embarrassing. But from Dieverune Cosmetics, after purchasing their Gloomy Gardens, I was really sad that I missed out on the Moth. Is it the Moth and the Moon? Yes, the Moth and the Moon eyeshadow palette. And then I saw the brand say that they were doing like a limited restock, but this was gonna be like the last time you were gonna be able to get this eyeshadow palette. So I obviously had to. I mean, I wished it into fruition. Like I wished for this palette, and then it came back and I was like, well, I can't turn down the opportunity now. So I did end up picking up this eyeshadow palette, and I am very excited to get to testing that. I did recently post a testing the last 11 eyeshadow palettes that I've tried, which I'll leave linked as well in case you're interested in testing that out. None of these palettes are in that video, obviously, but from Ensley Rain, I absolutely had to have this eyeshadow palette. It is the Groovy Gardens eyeshadow palette, or Groovy Garden, and everything about this palette is truly like pure perfection to me, from the like dustier pinks to the greens to the warm browns, and then all of the special shades in the middle. I mean, I knew the moment I saw this I was going to be picking it up. I anticipate I'll likely pick up just about every release Ensley Rain releases, unless it's truly like a color story I just don't see myself getting use out of. But I really am so impressed with the brand's quality, and I think that they make some really fun eyeshadow palettes. I do actually have a code with Ensley Rain right now, which is so exciting. I was so excited to get that email. I believe it'll save you 10% off. It is affiliated, so just note that, but I will post my code on the screen if you ever want to shop for anything from Ensley Rain. I did pick up the Oden's Eye collection. I forget what they call the collection, but it is the Mighty Monster eyeshadow palette in collaboration with Annette. Then we have the Earthwood palette in collaboration with Fancy Face. So beautiful. And then finally the Spring Dragon eyeshadow palette in collaboration with Judy. I missed out on the first collection. I talked myself out of that, and it is one of my biggest regrets when it comes to palettes I didn't purchase from Oden's Eye. So I definitely didn't want to miss out on this collection, so I picked them all up. And then we have the Glamlite Kiss palette. It's been a little bit since I've purchased from Glamlite, but when I saw swatches of this eyeshadow palette, I was instantly intrigued, specifically by the green and the blue rose. Granted, I do think the purple row is also really pretty, and I'm very excited to play around with this eyeshadow palette. It is extremely deep. I wish maybe there was like a couple of like lighter matte shades potentially, but I'm very excited to play around with Glamlite again, because like I said, it's been a little bit since I have purchased a Glamlite palette, and I've always been impressed with their quality, so very excited about that. And then the final eyeshadow palette that I purchased is from It's Belle Cosmetics, and it is the Under the Full Moon eyeshadow palette. I do own one other eyeshadow palette from It's Belle Cosmetics, and it is an all shimmer eyeshadow palette, and I think it is absolutely beautiful, and I knew that I wanted to try more from the brand. So when I saw this blue eyeshadow palette release, I was like, yes, I have to have it, because I absolutely love blues. I love blue eyeshadow so much. And it was around the time I was doing some research for a video about all the eyeshadow palettes that I have decluttered, and I was thinking about the Nabla like blue eyeshadow palette, and there's a shade in that palette that reminds me so much of this palette. And actually days before I saw this release, I was thinking about repurchasing that Nabla eyeshadow palette, because I wanted the shade that was like this back, and then I saw this palette teased, and it felt like it was meant to be. So I purchased this. Haven't yet tried it, but very excited to get around to this one as well, especially because I love blues so much. So those are the 7 eyeshadow palettes that I brought into my collection. Now we can move on to the makeup purchases that I made throughout the month of March, which actually looking at this, I'm like, there's more here than I thought really that there was. Let's start maybe with my Ulta 21 Days of Beauty purchases. There are 3 that I made. So last year, I was thinking about repurchasing the Benefit Hula bronzer, just because I was feeling like maybe that bronzer would still be just as good in this day and age, or I would love it just as much as I did back in the day, and I've gone through a full mini in the past. So when I saw that Hula was included in the sale, I was like, I'm gonna pick it up and we're just gonna go for it. So I did pick up the Benefit Hula bronzer. I haven't pulled this out to use it yet, but I'm really excited to kind of like get back to one of my like OG favorite bronzers and just see how I feel about it today. Also from Benefit, I was really excited that the Porefessional was included in the sale again. I really enjoy this setting spray for like a long lasting makeup setting spray. I actually prefer this even to the Urban Decay. It's been years, I feel like, since I've used the Urban Decay All Nighter. By far my favorite like setting spray to make your makeup last. So to get it half off, I was so excited, couldn't pass that up. And then the other sale that I took advantage of during Ulta 21 Days of Beauty was the Buxom full-on plumping lip creams. I really enjoyed the Buxom full-on like plumping lip products. I do still prefer Lawless Forget the Filler, but Buxom has so many shades in their range, and I do really think that they add a beautiful plumpness and a beautiful glossy effect to the lip. But I've never tried the lip creams, and there were two shades specifically that I was interested in. I was really interested in Blushing Margarita, and then I also really wanted to try Gin Fizz because Gin Fizz was described as a beige, and I love a beige. Like, I love a beige lip. Now I will say, in the packaging, this looks just like a white, but on the lips, especially over like a lip liner, I've really enjoyed the way that this looks. If my makeup diaries video isn't posted yet, I have a makeup diaries coming, and I've used each of these shades on a day in my makeup diaries, and if that video is already posted, I'll link that in case you want to see how those look in action. But I did purchase both of those, and I'm just realizing how many lip products I brought in. So Huda Beauty released the Faux Filler lip product, and I had to know how this compared to the Lawless Forget the Filler, which again is my favorite. And I was thinking about waiting until the Sephora VIB sale, but then I was a little bit worried that this might be one of those products that was sold out. So I just ended up purchasing it right away, and I purchased it in the shade Glassy, which is just the clear. And I will say this does not have like a plumping effect, like a tingly sensation like other lip plumping products, but I don't necessarily know that it claims the plumping product. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, the doe foot. It's like this big chunky thing, and it's almost like wedge shaped. I really like the way that this hugs the lips, and this gives a really beautiful, just clear, shiny effect to the lips. It's thin, it's not sticky. I personally prefer it now over the Tower 28 clear gloss, and this is only $3 more. This only retails for $19, which I felt like was a good price for Huda. And I like this, but I prefer still the Lawless Forget the Filler. Although if I want just like a clear gloss, I feel like this is gonna be like my go-to clear gloss in my collection. So I do feel like this serves a purpose, but I would not be using this on an occasion that I wanted the effect that I get from Lawless Forget the Filler. I don't know if that makes any sense, but nevertheless, this came into my life. I would recommend for a good clear gloss. All right, I was complaining in one of my videos about how none of my foundations match me because they're all self-tan shade and nothing matches me. And one of you brilliant people recommended that I get the LA Girl Pro Color Foundation Mixing Pigment, and so I did. This is just a white mixer, and I'm very excited to now have this in my collection, so I feel like I can use all my foundations at any point in time, so I can use this to lighten anything up that I might need. So thank you for that recommendation, and I'm very happy to have this. I want to say I purchased this for like $6 off of Amazon, and it shipped overnight, which was really nice. And then the final product that I picked up, I also purchased this on Amazon. I have been looking for this product, but I thought you could only get it on the Catrice website, and then I finally found it available on Amazon, and it is one of the Catrice Marblicious liquid lip balms. I've seen Samantha March speak really highly about these and do a couple lip combinations with this product that looked so beautiful on her lips. So I knew I really wanted to try it. I picked mine up in the shade Don't Be Shaky, and I've only used this one time. It is extremely thin. And nice and comfortable, and I did really like it the one time I've used it, but I don't really have a ton of thoughts because I've only used it the one time. But I also think I purchased this for $6 on Amazon, and this one also again shipped overnight, which was so nice. But if you weren't keeping track, you guys, I did bring in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 makeup products into my collection this month. So that means my beauty bank would go from 8 beauty credits down to just 1 beauty credit. But I do have a few, not as many as normal, but some exciting ones. I do have a few makeup empties, so we're gonna end with my makeup empties, and we can start with the least exciting products. I do have 2 mascaras that have dried out. Like, these are done. It's not even like these have reached the 3 or 4 month mark for me. Like, these truly are like donezo. So I have the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. I like this, but I find this to be really flaky on my lashes. I love the finish that this gives my lashes. Nice and curled, nice and separated, beautiful, nice and lengthened, not too clumpy, but still offers volume. But I just really struggle with the clumpiness. So I've had you guys recommend to me to pair this with a waterproof mascara. Maybe in the past they'll do that, but I'm definitely interested in trying some mascaras that maybe aren't as finicky. I'm really interested in trying the Rare Beauty one or the Caliedoscope one. So that one is just, this is just strictly an empty for right now, not repurchasing. Then I also have the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect. I've gone through many of these in the past. I do really enjoy this, and if I really was down to my last few mascaras, I would absolutely consider purchasing this again. I believe it's, unless it's gone up in price a little bit, it used to be under $5, and I think it gives a really, really beautiful effect to the lashes. Again, not too clumpy, but offers nice length and nice volume. So I'm a big fan of this one. I'm not going to instantly go out and repurchase it because I still do have other mascaras to get through. I plan to pick up the Lash Dash to go during the Sephora VIB sale, but I do recommend that mascara. I think it's a good one. And then the other products I have, the last 5 products, are all really, really exciting products. So we have the Refi Primer. This is exciting because I'm just happy to be done with this primer. I found this to be very gimmicky. It's like a primer you roll on, but because of the applicator, I didn't think it was an easy product to use. I didn't feel like it prolonged the wear of my makeup, and I just kind of got annoyed every time I had to reach in and use this. So I'm very excited to be done with that. I have 2 foundations that I finished up, and both are pretty pricey. So I have the Chanel Healthy Glow Foundation. This was fine. It definitely wasn't a favorite, and if I want a luxurious healthy glow foundation, I am going to be reaching for my Guerlain. I just think this one is better. The finish is more beautiful, and I just prefer this one for my skin. So I'm happy that I used this up because I spent a lot of money on this, but this is not something I personally would repurchase. I actually felt like this made my skin look a little textured and dry, especially for a foundation that is supposed to have like a healthy glow finish. It just wasn't a favorite. And then I have the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I really enjoyed this foundation, but my packaging was flawed, and I've heard from some of you guys that you also had packaging that leaked. So I don't know if it's a component issue, but for that reason, I would not want to purchase this. I also feel like NARS just, I love their face palettes, I love their palettes, but when it comes to foundation, I've never found like that foundation that is like the Dior Forever foundations for me that I will just continually repurchase. Sometimes this could be a little bit dry on the skin, but I still really liked how long that this lasted, and I still really liked the finish that this gave to the skin, but I just don't want to deal with leaky packaging. So for that reason, I won't repurchase that. After about a million years, I finally finished off my RCMA powder. I had it in my Laura Mercier packaging, and I am so happy to be done with this powder. I will say I'm just not a loose powder girly like I used to be. I love the Givenchy Prism Libre powder for underneath the eyes, for setting underneath the eyes as a loose powder, but aside from that, I'm definitely more of a pressed powder type of a gal these days. And so to be done with this product finally after years and years and years of effort just feels so good. So happy to say goodbye to that. And then finally, I also finished off my Tom Ford bronzer, which feels so good. This was a very, very pricey bronzer, and I'm happy that I used it up. This is something I would consider purchasing again. I have mine in the shade 2 Terra. I really liked the tone of this on my skin. I really liked the finish. It wasn't like totally matte, and I just felt like it was really, really beautiful. I do have other bronzers in my collection. I recently brought the Gucci bronzer into my collection. I really want to pick up the Gucci bronzer in another shade. So I'm not going to instantly go out and repurchase this, but I definitely feel like you may see this enter my collection again at some point in life. I'm definitely going to be keeping the component. I think the packaging is beautiful, and I definitely could repress something else into the packaging just to get use out of my $75 little compact here. But those are the 7 makeup products that I emptied out throughout this month. All of these products will be linked below, as well as more information about my beauty bank, as well as the total dollar value, all that information. But I will pop on the screen. I haven't yet done the math. I will pop on the screen right now though, where we are at in terms of the dollar value of products that I used up this past month and where we are at for the year. I think this is a fun statistic to track, although I will say it's not like my end all be all, because I could use up 50 e.l.f. products and that would be like $500 or less, and I could use up 50 NARS products and that would be like thousands of dollars worth of makeup. So I think it's a fun statistic to track, but it doesn't mean everything to me. I'm more interested in knowing the actual number of makeup products that I have finished up in the given year. And to date, I'm currently at 25 empties, which if you think about that, we are, because I cut this off at like the end of March. This is my March recap. This has nothing to do with April. So first 3 months of the year, we finished off 25 makeup products. So in 1/4 of the year, we finished off 25 products. I am on track to hit 100 makeup empties, which I would really love to do this year. We'll see if that will happen. I'm honestly not feeling as confident this year as in years past, but we shall see. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for today's Makeup Rehab March recap. Would love to know if you purchased anything in March, if you emptied anything up, if you are tracking your beauty bank. I did forget to mention, we brought in the same amount of makeup products as we used up this month, so our beauty bank is ending at 8 products heading into April. I plan to pick up quite a bit during the Sephora VIB sale, so I have a feeling we might be negative when we come back to review everything that we purchased in April, but you never know. We'll see. We'll see. But that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.